Good morning, 7th grade. This is for, my goodness, Thursday. I'm losing track. This is for Thursday. Now, yesterday I went over how to do this exercise on page 233, but you had a test. So today, this is the assignment, okay? This is the assignment for today, 233, so don't panic if you didn't get it done yesterday. All right, let's look at exercise H. We're going to be doing exercise H and I today. Okay, we're going to do exercises H and I. Let's look at number 1. We're using adjectives and adverbs here. Cross out any incorrect words and make the corrections where necessary. Circle misplaced modifiers and draw arrows to where they should be. Now let's remember, we want our modifiers to be close to what they're modifying. Otherwise, it changes our sentence and we become unclear. Let's look at number 1. Hanging on a nail in the broom closet, Mrs. Nelson found her dusting rags. Mrs. Nelson is not hanging, okay? So let's circle that clause. Hanging on a nail in the broom closet. Where does that need to go? Draw an arrow. It needs to go after the rags because the rags are hanging on a nail. Okay? Number 2. Father told me on Saturday he would take me to see them horses. Well, first of all, there's a wrong word in that sentence. It's not them, it's those horses. There's another mistake. On Saturday. Did the father say it on Saturday or we're going on Saturday? Okay, so you can draw an arrow to the front of the sentence if Dad said it on Saturday. On Saturday, Father told me he would take me to see those horses. Okay, or you can move it to the end of the sentence, meaning you're going to go on Saturday. Number 3, it is well that you left quick. It stormed bad after you left. Okay, there's lots of mistakes in this sentence. What are they? It is good that you left how? Quickly. It stormed how? Badly. Remember, if it's an adverb, it's badly. If it's a thing, it's bad, okay? You made a bad grade, okay? But how did you take the test? You took it badly. Does it make sense? One's for an adverb, one's an adjective. Number 4, Solomon was more wiser than any man in the Bible, yet even he was weakly when confronted by temptation. Okay, what are we going to change? We're going to mark out the word more. Solomon was wiser. Okay, we don't use more wiser, just Solomon was wiser than any other man. Remember, we can't have an incomplete comparison in the Bible. Yet even he was weak when confronted by temptation. Number 5, you sure did act good today, Elena. I'm proud of you. Okay, let's change that, make it proper grammar that I can be proud of all of us, okay? You surely did act well today, Elena. I'm proud of you. Number 6, the slave Joseph was nobler than anyone else in Egypt because he was a servant of Jehovah. Okay, what's wrong with that sentence? Our comparison is incomplete. The slave Joseph was nobler than anyone else. Okay, number 7. Them mangoes taste sweetly. In fact, they are the most sweetest fruit I have ever eaten. So many mistakes in that sentence. What is that? Those mangoes taste sweet. In fact, they are the sweetest. Take the word most out. They are the sweetest fruit I have ever eaten. Of the many kings of Israel, Ahab was perhaps the baddest. No, he was the worst. I read about a mother who had quadruplets, bless her heart, in the newspaper today. For those of you that don't know what quadruplets are, that means she had not twins, which is 2, not triplets. That's 3 babies at one time. She had 4. She had quadruplets. Okay? I read in today's newspaper, okay, about a mother. Okay? The mother's not in the newspaper. What you read is. Number 10. It would be more better to use fertilizer with fewer potassium. No, it would be better. We don't need the word more. It would be better to use fertilizer with less potassium. Remember, we use fewer if we can count it. We use less if we cannot. If it's something we have to measure, okay? Peter is real good at playing hockey. In fact, he is better than anyone on his team. 2 mistakes. Do you see them? Peter is really good at playing hockey. In fact, he is better than anyone else on his team. Number or exercise I. We're going to recognize participle phrases and prepositional phrases and the difference between them, okay? We're going to look at the phrase that's in italicized for us, and we're going to say it's a participle or it is prepositional. If it's a participial phrase, we're going to write participle in the blank. If it's preposition, then we're going to write prep, P-R-E, in the blank, okay? Now, let's think about it. A participle looks like a verb, but it does not have a subject. And a prepositional phrase has to begin with a preposition and end with an object. This should be a super easy section. Showing her love for Christ, Dorcas spent her life helping others. Okay, so looking at the phrase, showing her love for Christ, that is a participle. The owner of this house was the inventor of the contingent of this house. Of is a preposition, so it's a prepositional phrase. A girl hidden in the bushes overheard the prince's predicament. Hidden in the bushes is a participle. After the toil and heat of the day, we can always go to God for rest. After the toil and heat of the day. There are 2 phrases actually there. After the toil and heat, that's one phrase. Of the day is the second, but both of them are what? Prepositional phrases. We could see a hummingbird flitting from flower to flower. Flitting from flower to flower is a participle. Sheltered in the arms of God, we Christians should not worry. Sheltered in the arms of God is a participle. The privilege of every person forgiven by Christ is the hope of the resurrection. Forgiven by Christ is a participle. Throughout the world tonight, many people will go to bed hungry. Throughout the world tonight is a preposition. The bin under the bed contained old family pictures. Under the bed is a preposition. Good. The cage sitting on the table was for the new bird. That is a participle. Number 11, Teddy Roosevelt, known as the conservation president, was responsible for designating many of our national parks. Known as the conservation president is a participle. When you're trying to distinguish between a preposition and a participle, remember the prepositions have to be on our preposition list. That's the first word of the clause, and then an object at the end. Whereas a participial phrase is going to begin with a word that looks like a verb, but is not. Let's look at exercise J. Look at exercise J for me, okay? I'm trying to look at my exercise here. All right.